Hello and welcome back to the Lincoln Loco 2. Today we have got two really massive games against Southend and Chesterfield. Both teams, we need to be beating them if we want to escape the relegation zone. So hello, welcome back. Hope you're all doing well. Since you were last here, we have played very well indeed, I've got to say. I've been really impressed how we played, to be fair. You were last here for the Bolton loss and the Peterborough draw. Since then, we have played 5 games, won 2, drawn 2, lost 1. I think that is pretty decent. We started off against Rochdale with Hawkins, Monk and Mason scoring 3 goals within the first 35 minutes to make sure we pretty much won that game in its entirety. Rochdale scored early on as well, but you know, we were too good for them in the entirety of that game, so that was good to see. We followed up with a 0-0 draw against Leyton Orient. Leyton Orient, a decent side, so I was pleased with that result. Not too exciting though, nothing really much going on, but it was exciting in the game against Bradford City. A 3-0 win, Reece Hilton with 1 and Mark Mason with a brace to make sure we picked up all 3 points, which was really positive. Next up, AFC Wimbledon. They scored early on, very early on actually, 3rd minute, but Dylan Monk scored just before half-time to bring us back on level terms with them to pick up a point in that game. And then last time out against MK Dons, a 1-0 loss very late on, which is a bit frustrating, but MK Dons are a decent side. Today, we've got Southend and Chesterfield in games that we really need to win. So continuing on from last episode's draw against Peterborough, we went on a run with 5 games without losing, which was really good form. However, we still find ourselves in the relegation zone. Only by a point, but we're still in that relegation zone, which makes today's games against Chesterfield and Southend even more important. If we make the table even bigger when it wants to decide to load. If we look right down here behind my head, if I move out the way like this, you can probably see it now. We're 22nd in the table, 43 points. Exeter on 43 points. Southend, who we play first today, on 44 points. So beating them today will take us out the relegation zone. And then Chesterfield, we also play against, are on 37 points on the bottom of the table. They're pretty much relegated, I would say, at this point. So we need to win both games today. 6 points would take us to 49 points in total, potentially up to 16th in the table, and would leave us 1 point away from that magic 50, which I think we're going to have to need to secure survival this season. So as per usual, we have been sticking with this 4-3-3, and it's worked pretty well in between episodes, so I do have hope that it's going to work today against Southend and Chesterfield. The starting lineup for the game against Southend then is Andrew in goal with a backline of Tyriak, Porter, Dan Happy and Asuko. Muggeridge, Nankwo and Hawkins make up that midfield trio with Monk, Marshall and Mason. The 3 M's combining once again up front. Hopefully they'll score a few more goals. Mason's up to 14 goals total this season, which is good. He's still got a chance, especially in his final few games of the season, to get to 20 goals again this season, which would be absolutely incredible to do that 3 seasons in a row. Or would it be 4 seasons in a row? Do we have him in National League North? I can't remember when we signed him now, but the past 2 seasons he's definitely scored more than 20 goals. I think it's the past 3 seasons, he scored more than 20 goals. So this one would be incredible to have 4 in a row. That would be mental. Kickoff is upon us here. We're away to Southend, so that's going to be very tricky. Southend obviously fighting for survival themselves, so it's going to be a really tough game, but I reckon we've got enough about us to take victory here today. Right then, first highlight of the game. I'm trying to get the mouse out of the way, but the Southend have scored very early on. That's not good at all. It was a decent goal, to be fair, but that was not what we wanted in the slightest. I've left my mouse at my girlfriend's house. It's like a wireless one, so I'm having to use a trackpad, which doesn't really work on my laptop very well. Just another reason why the whole machine's breaking. I need to get something new. So that's going to be very difficult for the next 2 episodes, as Mason puts it in the back of the net for his 15th of the season, bringing us back on level terms with Southend. Brilliant stuff there. Instant reply from us, which is really good to see. Hopefully now we take the game by the bull of the horns and really go for it. Another highlight now, but it looks like Southend of a team coming forward with it as their number 23 puts the ball out wide to Fleming, who just about keeps it in, but his ball forward is rubbish, and Jed Andrew can collect it. Andrew now clears the ball up towards Monk, who collects it very nicely, to be fair, plays it back to Turiak, and we're looking to try and come forward. Turiak gets dispossessed there. And Southend with another chance to come forward now. I feel like there is going to be a goal coming at the end of this as Fleming tackled by Asuko. Mason now on the counter-attack. He's got a man completely free. Monk is free. He does score it. He gets his 8th of the season. I was about to say, if he misses that, that would be ridiculous. But Mason with a superb assist. Monk with the goal, putting us ahead of Southend in today's game. And if we can get down to the table all the way down here, it takes us out of the relegation zone temporarily, up to 20th on 46 points. That's what you like to see. With only a few games left this season as well, it's really pivotal that we do well as Andrew collects the loose ball there from the cross. If we can just grab another goal or 2 in today's game, I'll feel a lot better and calm down a bit as Andrew Looks to clear it now. Puts it up towards Monk, who's already shown that he's pretty good at collecting the ball. Doesn't really do it there. And Southend with a chance to come forward through Buxton now. Buxton, number 20, puts it into Palmer. Across to their number 23, who gets the third goal of his season at least. And the second goal for Southend. So that's kind of brought a downer on things again. But again, we have got a really good chance, I think, to win today's game. We've played very well attackingly so far. So it's all to play for still. Come on, Southend have got another chance to come forward. If they score a goal here, I will be really, really cross as Buxton once again on the ball, putting the ball in. Nankwo collects it though, and Mason puts the ball up towards Monk. If we can get players up there, Monk dispossessed but keeps hold of possession, puts the cross into Hawkins, cleared, and it only goes as far as Southend players. And now it's 3-on-2 for them. Their number 23, the goal scorer for 2 of their goals, puts it across to Palmer. This is going to be a bit of a goal fest today, I reckon. Really, 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 we cannot let Southend win this. We do have game in hand on Southend, actually. If we look at this, we do have some games in hand on teams around us. But really, we have to win this game and make that game in hand count to really have a good chance of survival. And right now, after a bit of a topsy-turvy first half, it's not in the best position. Aggressively then, show me something else in the second half. We have to do better than this. We have to do better than this. We need the win. We need 2 more goals today. We've got it in us, definitely. Just can we do it? That's the issue. Can we do it as Southend clear the ball? Again, their number 23 getting in behind our defence. Just about dispossessed there. And Monk actually collects the ball. He can put it in centrally to Marshall. Marshall, how have we not scored? Mason does put it in the back of the net. It does finally go in there. It's back to 3-3 on the scoreline. Mason with another goal. He's really come into his own in the second half of the season. And, okay, game on once again. Free kick for us. Nankwo puts it in. Dan Happy puts it in the back of the net somehow. Not quite sure what happened. That's his first ever goal for Lincoln United. He's put us 4-3 up in this game. We're back on top of it again after being 2-1 up, then 3-1 down. 4-3 up now. Up to 19th in the table as it looks like Wimbledon are not playing, or I'm not quite sure, but Wimbledon are losing or not playing, something like that. We're up to 19th in the table, which is really, really good. As Marshall puts it in the back of their net now. 5-3 scoreline. Let's take this down to balance now. Let's not get too cocky out there. We need to try and protect this lead now. We're 2 goals to the good. 25 minutes to go. We do not want to let this slip. Throw in for us then, which Asuko gets the ball back from. Muggeridge now on the ball as he plays it back to Asuko. And we're looking to come forward. If we can grab a 6th here today, that really, really is game over in my eyes. As Turiak comes forward unchallenged. No one tackled him at all. He was all the way through there. The keeper is the only person to deny him in the end. But a great run from Turiak, who's been a servant to the club the past few seasons. His corner was nearly turned in there by Marshall. Goes out though. 18 minutes to go. Let's do it. Oh, it looks like a Southend player might just be sent off as well in the final few moments. He has been sent off. 4 minutes to go. This just has to be it now. Surely we have won this game at this stage. And as the clock ticks down with the final few minutes, we move back up to 19th. Wimbledon must be just losing their game. They must be drawing, losing. Looks like they've lost it. We've won ours. We move up to 19th in the table, which is the record high for a long, long time. We've never been as high as this. Probably since like the first few games of the season when it was all a bit topsy-turvy still, because it's obviously the opening fixtures of the season. We've overtaken Southend. We're up to 19th. Southend in the relegation zone now. And with what? We've got 5 games left this season now. It's looking pretty good. If we can just hold on to this last bit of form at the end of the season, we're going to be safe from relegation. Mason was absolutely superb in that game. 2 goals, 1 assist. Let's give him a little bit of praise for that. That was superb. Well done, my man. Absolutely love Mark Mason. His contract ends at the end of the season. We're going to look to renew it, obviously. But yes, the last 4 seasons, over 20 goals. Potentially could get to 20 this season. He's got 14 in the league, 16 overall. We've still got time to do it, to be fair, and I'm backing him to do it. So we've got Chesterfield coming up in a week's time. I think if we beat Chesterfield, they get relegated. So they're playing for an awful lot in the next game. Obviously, we are playing as well. We're trying to fight against relegation. A win, I think, would be enough to stop us getting relegated this season. I think we're 1 win away, maybe a win and a draw away or something like that. But Chesterfield, I think if we actually beat them, they mathematically will be relegated, maybe. So here we go then. Relegation scrap approaches its final battle. So we're all played 42 games apart from us and Coventry. So they've got 4 games left. Chesterfield then have to get 12 points, which would put them on 49. So yeah, potentially, actually, if they lose and if we beat them, they will probably drop out and they won't be able to get they will get relegated. So that's pretty bad for them. Plenty of teams apparently still eligible for the drop. I think Coventry, Bradford, Rochdale, Fleetwood, I reckon they're all safe. It's between us 6 now, I think, at the bottom. And I thoroughly intend to be one of these 6 sides that isn't going to get relegated. I've got to say, though, we do have a very kind run-in, because if we look down here, Chesterfield, who are bottom, we're playing them. We're playing Coventry and Fleetwood, who are in 15th and 18th. We're also playing Mansfield on 23rd, and then we've got Walsall on the final day. I think the next 5 games, we are very capable of winning 4 of them. So Michael Emery, former goalkeeper at the club, is singing praises of Dan Happy and compares him to Jack Wakely. Now, Wakely, if you remember, was a real stalwart of our side last season in League 2. So, we let him go at the end of the season. He wanted a lot of money. I thought he'd go to another League 2 club. I've just clicked on him here. He's playing for St Neots Town in the E06 Southern Premier South, which is the same division that we started the Lincoln Loco 2 in, but we were in a slightly different one, but an equivalent one. So, or it might be the one above the one we started in, actually. But either way, it's a massive drop that he's taken from League 2 to that. Why? He is so much better than that. He's on a lot less money than we were paying him as well, so I'm not quite sure why he's playing for them. It says leading North-South Vanarama, but he was very, very good for League 2. Right, other teams played then. By looks of things, Wimbledon have moved ahead of us in the table because they drew with Bristol, so they go ahead of us in goal difference. Still 2 points ahead of Exeter, Mansfield and Southend, but we have 2 games in hand on those teams now, which is big. So if we beat Chesterfield today, they'll be 9 points behind Wimbledon, so they won't quite be relegated, but they're next to relegated if they don't win. So that's going to be a big game for them. Right. I don't think we can't secure survival with this next game, but we're getting ever closer. Come on, let's take on Chesterfield. I think we're going to keep not quite. We're going to keep the lineup very similar. I forgot Muggeridge got injured in between. What we are going to do then is bring Joe Howell on for him in that deep line playmaker position. Howell will come on. Muggeridge can have a rest for today's game, but I think we still have enough about us to beat Chesterfield today. Let's go. Right then, kickoff is upon us. Porter on the ball. Hopefully, he's going to be a real stalwart in defence today, making sure we don't concede any goals to Chesterfield at all. We played very well, actually, when we went on to attacking last game. So we're going to start off, actually, going on to attacking against Chesterfield, seeing if that gets us somewhere in today's game. Now, if we win today, we go up to 49 points, which is 5 clear of Exeter. Then I need to make sure, and then if we win our game in hand, we will be 8 points clear of Exeter in those teams. So I need to make sure I know when we're having our game in hand, because potentially, actually, we could play one game in between episodes, which would be our game in hand, could potentially go 8 points clear, and then we might have to change the schedule a little bit just to work things out, so we make sure we do get our survival on camera, or even relegation, you never know, as Monk fires us into the lead in today's game, 22 minutes into it. Mason with another assist, a superb assist, I'll have you know as well, and that was a fabulous goal. 1-0 up against Chesterfield. We are running riot so far in the stats, as we are 4 shots to 0 shots. That's running riot, Tom. That really is a running riot. But it puts us in a great position. 5 points clear of the relegation zone as things stand, with a game in hand as well. Surely now at this stage, surely League One is ours next season. Turiak's free kick, this time on the edge of the area, is turned in by Patrick Marshall. I think it took a big deflection on the way, and then Marshall manages to put it in the back of the net just before half-time. 2-0 up now, which is really fantastic. To be fair, this end-of-season form is looking really good. If we can keep this form going into the start of next season, make the right additions in summer, we could have a decent season next year, as Chesterfield looking to clear the ball once again. We've limited them to 0 shots this first half, and we've had 13 of our own. That is really, really good, I've got to say. I'm really pleased and impressed with that. Honestly, next season, I think we can really try and target that upper half of the table. I mean, the right additions, if we play well as well, get a bit of luck on our side, keep the form going that we've had at the end of the season, I reckon we really could challenge for top half next season, if I'm being honest with you. I think we've got a chance for another goal, though, as Mason puts it across to Marshall for his second of the game. Mason's second assist of the game, and Mark Mason may not hit the 20 goal mark in the league this season, but goals and assists combined over 20, most definitely. 3-0 up at half time. Can we just end the game now because we've won it? I've got to say, what an effort from my lads this episode. Mason's free kick saved by the keeper on the line. Marshall's offside, but what an effort from my lads this episode. 5 goals in the first game, 3 in this one. This is the first time this season as well that we're going to pick up 6 points in the episode, which is really fantastic. I think we've had back-to-back win once before this season. This is going to be our second back-to-back win, I think. Or maybe I can't remember now. I'm over the moon either way. Played so well. Chesterfield has still not had a single shot in this game, which I think is a real testament to how our defence has played as well. As I say that, I reckon they're going to have a shot now in this highlight at some point as Laycock puts it out to number 6. To be fair, they've had no shots the entire game. You may as well shoot from that far out. They do get a... Okay, that's a bit of a downer. We've lost the clean sheet and they've scored with their only shot of the game, which is frustrating, I've got to say. You'd like us just to be able to switch on that little bit longer, but this is superb. We'll make just a few changes just to rest some players, and I think we might have the midweek game. I can't remember when we have our game in hand, but it's probably worth just making the changes now just to make sure that our players are going to be fully fit enough, the players that we want at least for the next game. To be fair, Chesterfield are coming back into this game at the very end of it, although we have just cleared their free kick and now we've got the counter-attack. Marshall puts the ball up towards Mason. Grab a goal, Mason. You deserve one today. Or maybe another assist as Monk fails to put it in the back of the net when really he should have, as Monk back on the ball, puts it back across to Mason. He puts it across, but it's cleared. We really should have got a goal there. Mason must be fuming that he's not got his hat-trick of assists today, but you know what? We've done a professional job. We've won it 3-1. We're 5 points clear of the relegation zone with a game in hand now. We've finally come into a bit of form at the end of the season. We've made it count as well. Absolutely superb. Right then, so we are 5 points clear of the relegation zone. Let's look at the matches. When do we play our game in hand? If we look for the next one along, that's Saturday the 17th. And we're not playing then. Then we play Coventry, and then we're gonna have 2 games. We're gonna have some weird fixtures, to be fair, because obviously we ground share of Lincoln City, so that's probably why it's a bit odd. So we're 5 points clear with a few games to go. Obviously, we won't be safe for the Coventry game, so we won't do that on episode. Potentially though, this Fleetwood game could be a big one for us. So potentially we could be safe from the Fleetwood game, because if we beat Coventry, we potentially at most could be 8 points clear, although it could be a lot closer. To be fair, I'll work it out in between episodes for next time, and we'll go from the game where we could be safe and keep playing games until we are safe or get relegated. One of the two. We'll work it out. You'll see another episode. Obviously, today's Friday. Next episode normally wouldn't be out till Monday, but I can't leave you hanging like this. So, as it's Easter, it's the bank holiday, but I'll make it 3 o'clock tomorrow on Saturday. So you can tune in then if you want, or watch it later on or over the weekend. But it's going to be an exciting episode next one. So thank you very much for watching today's episode. It's been a really, really good one. Hopefully we've done enough for survival. Hopefully next episode you'll see us survive for another season in League One. If you enjoyed today's video, do drop a like for me and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And I'll see you next time for some more Lincoln Loco action.